Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie B. So, what am I up to today? Well, I'm answering that age-old question of what's for dinner. Well, today we're doing something a little different. It's going to be a one-pot meal, and it is a French onion pasta with some beef strips. So let me get you over here to the stove so we can start cooking. I'm going to start with the meat first. It's going to be delicious. It's simple. It's very easy, and it's even quick. And definitely budget friendly. Okay, so I'm going to use my Dutch oven here. It's smoking because I had cleaned it up really good and seasoned it with some Crisco, or lard actually. And then when it cooled again, I re-wrapped it in some lard, and it's kind of smoky, but it's all right. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons or 1/8 cup of butter. We're just going to start with that. Get it melted. Now the beef that I'm using, and you don't have to actually use any meat. You can make this totally a meat-free meal, but we like meat, and yeah, we're going to use it. I found this actually on sale and stuck it in the freezer. It is just a beef stir fry. It's slices of beef, and it's just the butcher shop beef round. It's not completely thawed out, but that's all right. It will thaw in the pot. It's very thin slices of beef. They'll make it nice. So you could also use this type of meat to make like fajitas, different things like that. But we're going to cook this first. Just going to sear it. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through. Just going to kind of brown it on both sides. I like these one-pot meals. They're easy. They're really nice to do. Hear the cats meowing in the background, I'm wondering. Just going to let these sit here and cook up, and we'll be back. I'm just, like I said, I'm going to kind of sear it, brown it on both sides, and we'll be back with the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so the meat's done, and it's got some good juice down there. Now our next item is going to be some caramelized onions. I got a fuzzy on my finger. Okay, well, I'm going to take this out. Fuzzy's all gone too. Don't want that in lunch or dinner. So back to the caramelized onion. I am going to use some caramelized onions that I canned. But if you don't have any canned, that's all right. I want you to just take 2 tablespoons of butter. Or leave your broth that's in here, a little bit of juice in the butter if you decided to do the meat. And what I want you to do is cut up some onions. Don't dice them. I normally quarter mine. Cut them in half and then cut those in half, quartering them. And then you just put them in your skillet here and cook them until they get to be a nice amber color. So I'm going to go ahead and get this jar opened up and get this dumped in here to heat them up. I lost my spoon in that amount of time. There it is. These got a little darker when I canned them, but that's all right. They taste amazing. I've used them before, and I figured I'd use them up now because it's good to go through your stores, and that way nothing gets wasted if you leave them sit for too long. Now, with that being said, I have spaghetti sauce I just used up from 2019. So we're going to heat these guys up. And now, whenever you do them in a pan, they should kind of look like this. So let me get to these, and then we'll get to some more ingredients. Oh, by the way, in case I didn't tell you this, this is a French onion pasta with the beef slivers. Okay, the caramelized onions are cooking down awesomely, even more so than what they are now. They do shrink in size. So what you want to do is probably give yourself 4 cups of fresh onions and the 2 tablespoons of butter in order to cook those down. And then with what I already have canned, it ends up being damn near only 2 cups of the caramelized onions. Our next item we're going to use is, we have some cooking wine. I'm using white. 1/2 cup. Oops, I got to put the lid on. And we have 2 large cloves of garlic and 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme. Now, if you're using minced garlic in a jar, it's about 1 tablespoon. And this, if you're using it dried thyme, then you would want to use about 1/4 teaspoon. So let me get these in. I'm just going to kind of let these kind of cook together a little bit, just for a few minutes. Stir them in. We'll be back. We're going to get the noodles for the pasta. Okay, now our next item is 16 ounces, about 2 cups of pasta. Now, I'm just using an egg noodle. You can use whatever type of pasta you want to. Just going to sprinkle these in here. I'll stir them around. I know you're probably sitting there thinking, well, that's not going to be enough juice to make those noodles do its thing. I'm going to leave this. This is a very big burner. So I'm literally going to leave this on in here with the lid on for about 2 minutes. And we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes. And we're just trying to soak up some of this juice to get the flavoring really into the noodles. So most of the juice is gone. Now, we're not going to eat it like this. Don't worry. That smells so good. Everything's kind of falling over. Next item is 32 ounces of beef broth. Now, you can use chicken broth or vegetable broth if it's a vegetarian meal. You could even, if you wanted to keep this like a vegetarian meal, you could also use like portobello mushrooms to add more bulk to this, which we're not doing that. I'm using my beef and my beef broth. Now, what you want to do is just let this cook until on low, at least for this burner, until the noodles are as tender as you want them. Pretty much as tender as you want them, because after these are pretty much done cooking, then we're going to go ahead and add in the meat. So we're going to put the lid back on this and let it go. It's kind of like French onion soup, but it's going to have noodles in it instead of bread. We'll be back shortly. Okay, so my noodles are pretty much done. I haven't, not all the juice soaked up. I wish a little bit more would have, but that's all right, because I still have some more time to cook, because they're not getting mushy or anything. But the reason I brought us back was I'm going to add the meat into this now, because I want it to get nice and warm and more separated, and also soak up some of the flavoring. Okay, now, this looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's amazing. I can already tell you that. Let's just put it like that. So I wanted something. Oh, we're also going to add cheese to this, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I wanted something else to go with this. And I decided to do French bread. Well, I don't know how to make French bread, at least not yet. So I cheated and I went and picked up some of the Pillsbury French bread. This is very good. It's very easy to cook. I usually have one or two of these and biscuits to just, if I want to do something special and, add something a little extra to a meal. I do this. So, but yes. And once again, everything that I'm having tonight, other than the biscuits and the salad, because I do not have any greens left in my garden, were actually in my stores. I did not have to go get it. Now, what we're going to do is when this is completely done, we're going to add some cheese to it. You can choose whatever cheese you want. I am using a Fontina, and it's pretty good. It has a nice taste to it, and this is what it kind of looks like. And it's a softer cheese, and it has a nuttier taste to it, but I'll be putting that in right as I pull this off the stove. Okay, so I'm going to finish chopping up the cheese because the cheese is supposed to be finely ground. It's not getting ground. It's getting chopped up. And you need a minimal of 6 ounces of cheese. I say minimal because I want more. So yes, and I did have this cheese in the fridge. I found it on sale. Thought I'd use it. Okay, so everything's done. The noodles are nicely soft, but not mushy. And the meat's all in there. So now I'm going to take about 4 ounces of cheese, minimal 3, and just sprinkle on the top here. Now I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes to just kind of let everything melt together and set up. I already turned off the burner, and the rest is going to be used to top it when it's on our plates. Okay, and we'll be back and we'll do the taste test. Oh, the French bread might be done. Okay, well, here's my plate. So hopefully you can see the bowl. If not, look at the picture. Okay, so we're going to do a taste test now. Now remember, this is called French onion pasta, and I added beef to it because I just wanted some beef to it. And you can switch this around from a beef broth to a chicken broth and use chicken, or use portobello mushrooms and a vegetable broth to keep it more vegetarian. So let's try this out. That is so good. That is amazing. It's got that good French onion soup taste with the meat and the noodles. This will make a meal in the wintertime for good and hearty. And so I'm going to sit down and eat this and hopefully eat a salad too. But I'm not holding my breath on the salad part. But hey, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out. I get to clean up this little mess tonight.